Uncle Peter Schiff says it's all over. This is my favorite uncle. This will be much worse in 2008. Well, you know, every time he basically comes to FUD something, it is always worse than 2008. Look, man, just so you know, friends, so why was 2008 bad? Look, 2008, there was no automatic money printing response. There wasn't back then, okay? So if you want to know, 2008, look, man, shit can always happen, you know? We can have an unforeseen event, you know, acts of God and nature and cyclones, and we can have stuff that just roll out of basically control. But why was 2008 really bad is, there you go, all right? It was literally, things are going bad, everyone's defaulting. Guess what happens here pretty much, friends? Ben Bernanke comes out, he goes, that's it, no one's going under anymore, we're done. So they did the money printing. That's when actually QE started. They did that. And then they did QE along the way, print. That brings us to where we are today now. So that's why, look, it doesn't mean you're 100% protected, because I guess, like, you got to think about, will there ever be a scenario where the money printer can't get people to buy? Yeah, sure. There probably will be an event like that in the future. I have basically a prophecy, right? Where I made my video on it last year, where I do believe they're going to turn on the money printers and it's going to work, then it's not going to work, right? And then they're going to have to go maybe to level 2, which is they introduce some bullshit Save America Act, where the US Fed says, you know, we're going to have to save America and all the pensioners, these poor people, right? So what they'll do is they print money and then they buy the ETFs themselves. The Bank of Jelly Beans over there in Pokemon Island, Japan, they already do this. But what ends up happening is the US Fed, you got to think about it, okay, they make the currency. They are literally transferring their dogshit infinite minting currency, and they're taking ownership of the companies, right? So hopefully we don't get to that point, but I feel like eventually we will get to that point, okay? So, but Uncle Peter Schiff calling for it. He's always calling for something like this, you know? This is the collapse I've warned you about for years. Yeah, but you saw the stock market, bro. It's up like 300% in that period of time as well. So, but yeah, gold is rallying. Hopefully it stops soon. Then risk on assets can continue. Speaking of risk on assets, this is interesting, yeah? Do you know, friends, since Richard Hart tweeted, stop buying pDAI, all right? There were people who capitulated at the bottom. It went up 180% to today, all right? And also simultaneously, the JPEG DAI dropped 90%. Very interesting. Now, of course, I have just cherry-picked these dates, but you can go cherry-pick anything. But I'm just showing you, it's funny that on the day, Richard Hart said, infinite minting, stop buying, infinite minting, bug, can't be fixed. FUD. Oh, Sommy's on someone's stream. Let me write a FUD. So remind you, okay, there was 33 pDAI tweets by Richard Hart in March. It's interesting that this one, see, well, why is it interesting? Okay, look. So the coin with infinite minting allegations is up, okay? And then the coin with no inflation, just pure, basically just no inflation at all. That's a JPEG DAI from Pump Tires. That's down. What's going on here? Well, you know, I am led to believe that there's more to the story than meets the eye. And even though we see a lot of stuff like someone minting pDAI 2 days before launch, the founder of PulseX, don't know who he is, making pDAI the first logo of altcoins. The founder of PulseChain, wonder who it is, also going on stream, literally saying, spoke to someone who's going to make a DAO, so we have DAI on PulseChain. Like, it's just, it's quite peculiar that we've come to this point. Also, on top of these, friends, the pDAI pulse ratio is still in a very nice uptrend as well. So follow the circles, right? Follow the circles. That's what it comes down to. And it's even people, man, people just don't get it. They literally just don't get it. Do you understand that, you know, if you're long this chart, do you understand you are turbo leverage long PulseChain? You know that? You literally know that. You know that? Whether you like it or not. Do you also understand that, for example, if you're long any altcoin, like if you're long Hex, you are long Ethereum. And if you're long Ethereum, you know you are long Bitcoin, whether you like it or not. So it's very interesting, right? Also, another thing, right? If you're long the S&P 500, you know you are long America. You are long American business. You're aware of that? You understand we're all combined. You can't isolate these. Try to. I mean, good luck. Good luck trying to do that. So you're long the same thing. So you're basically, you're turbo leverage long on the success. See, this thing was actually going up even as PLS goes down, which is probably the most fascinating thing of all, actually. Some more updates, friends. So this might be very interesting later on and more interesting now. Remember, the BitFinex whales are still buying more ETH-BTC. You see that? So there are more ETH-BTC longs going up. See that? The number, that's the position size. They're getting very, very, very long. They've never been long ETH-BTC this much before in history. So basically, remember, BitFinex is one of the oldest exchanges in crypto. So you'd think the accounts there, they have the most experience and they're like wealthy. So they would make decisions on average that'll make them survive there the longest. Doesn't mean they're always right on their moves, but they do have a decent rate when it comes to these. And yeah, they've been getting filled on the bid. So pretty much like as if you're long ETH-BTC, it means you're long Ethereum, you're short Bitcoin. Okay, so I wonder how that all resolves. It's probably going to resolve with a big ETH-BTC snap upwards. But man, this is pretty much what they've been long in. Like it just looks absolutely filthy. Man, I just keep looking at this like it's just some sort of horrific show. Like what did we do? What did we do, man? You know, it's just, you know, I know it's business ISM, the worst in 45 years, but man, you're just looking at that, man. Like, friends, like, this was Trump's victory, okay? Literally Trump's victory, which is terrible enough as it is on the chart. This is what it looked like. It looked like that, and I'm like, okay, we seem to have bottom now. Now we can finally go up. No, we got clobbered. Literally, we got clobbered next, you know? Very sad, very sad. That's exactly what happened. So we got clobbered. Oh, well, what can we do about it? Nothing. Just gonna have to believe that, man, this is so garbage. Look, I'm sure, Vince, I'm just to tell you, a lot of Ethereum maxis are capitulating. A lot. I saw Sassel, Anthony Sassano from the Daily Quay. He's no longer doing 7 episodes a week. He's doing 1. He's been here 8 years. Yeah, man. And it was actually quite funny. Just go through his stream. He's like just telling everyone, look, man. He goes, I'm enjoying going out and riding a bike. I'm enjoying playing video games. I'm enjoying going to dinner with my missus. He's saying stuff like that. And I'm thinking like, man, you have to justify to a bunch of skits, deranged, lunatic, crack addicts like us that it's okay to live your life. Like, hey, I'm allowed to go outside and look at the sun for 5 seconds. I want to just go play a video game from time to time. I want to go watch a movie. You're allowed to do that, man. We're all allowed to do it. I salute you, bro. I'll still be here. It's kind of funny just to think about it, all these. And they said it's worse than last time. That shocked me. A lot of Ethereum maxis said, what's last time, friends? Well, man, you got to think about it, friends. Look, this is how bad it was. Friends, you know when we hit after the bear market? Okay, I just want to show you. Please count the red monthly candles, okay? When Ethereum was finally at the bottom, yeah, it never had more than 2 red monthly candles in a row. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? There was always 2, maybe there was garbage, stop then on another 2. Okay, but never had more than 2 in a row. Okay? Even in our bear market recently, look at this. It had 2, some bouncy time, 3. But even then it goes 2 green, 2 green. And that's a big reset. Look what we just got. Look what this abomination just did. We had 3 recover, 5. 5? Are you joking, bro? For what reason? For what reason? I don't know, man. Too much soy latte. Something happened. And it really does feel like this, doesn't it? Bitcoin 85K, ETH-BTC new lows. That's what it feels like, friends. Friends, I don't care. Like, I would be, friends, if I had $100 million access right now, I'd go $100 million ETH. I wouldn't even blink. Wouldn't even blink. You know, on my screen right now, live, right now, an ETH-BTC, we've summoned something in right here. Look at this. This guy's got a lightning logo. You automatically know it's probably going to be spitting on Ethereum. Let's read it together for the first time. If you're still holding Ethereum at this point, I assume you're waiting for some kind of bounce. You probably thought it would come to 0.05. Then you hoped for 3.5. Now you're praying for 2. But it's not happening. Like you, the others are also just begging for a bounce to dump their bag. Take the L and convert it to Bitcoin. In a few years, you can pretend you were always a Bitcoiner. But first, you have to cut your losses. Don't listen to this cuck. Okay, let's continue. Then reflect on how you missed something so obvious and why you didn't listen sooner. P.S. Don't harm yourself. It's going to be okay. So in his mind, he thinks it's going to be okay because he thinks Bitcoin's going to 13 million. So even if you have $6 of Ethereum to rotate into BTC, you're still making a wonderful trade. Man. You know what? Just to tell you, friends, see, I feed the universe. I feed these monkeys stuff like this. They will be embarrassed, friends. You know what the funny part is, man? This is the funny part. When ETH-BTC goes back to this thing, its ratio is still going to be dog shit. But trust me, they will feel the pain as if it was at its all-time high. They will. Okay, even though it's going to look like this, it's going to look like making lower highs, they're going to feel the pain here. All right, they will. Why? Because they have witnessed a repeatable altcoin season pattern. And when ETH-BTC makes green candles, they're still going to be imagining, they go, man, if I threw in just like 2 Bitcoin on that ETH-BTC low, I'd have 6 Bitcoin right now. And if Bitcoin's going to 13 million, I would have made an extra $55 million like Michael Saylor would have told me to do. Those games, they play with themselves in their head. Okay. So, friends, I've checked it out. Ethereum's got all the cypherpunk stuff. The blobs, they got big upgrades coming. Everything's fine. It's just all part of the business cycle. It is what it is. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. I know it's dog shit, but man, you really think the rest of the world is gonna come in for digital pet rock? Come on, bro. If anybody likes patting their own rock, you've got gold, dude. You're coming here to be excited. You might want to see a decentralized native stablecoin go to $1. You want to see JPEGs do a backflip. You want to see some gaming Ponzi coins come out. Right? You want to see DeFi 3.0. You want to see some mad cross-collateralization. You want to see some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what crypto provides. Right? Bitcoin, base money supply. You understand what happens when the business cycle takes over. That's why ultimately you're betting for this. I'm playing for that. Are you? Highest value content in crypto. Like, subscribe. Catch you soon.